Hey, welcome back. Bulldogs Live with Georgia head coach Kirby Smart. Glad to have you along. And our friends from Whippley are here tonight as our guest audience and friends of the company as well. We'll get some questions from our audience tonight, as well as checking out the social platforms. Hashtag Ask Coach Smart for the questions that you have sent in for Coach Smart this week. And the Dogs getting ready to go on the road again. Mississippi State this coming weekend. Saturday at noon, a 12:05 Eastern Time kick in the Central Time Zone. It's an 11:05 start. It's a morning kickoff in Starkville, Mississippi, and Coach Smart is here. And Kirby, what do you think about the morning kickoff?
Well, I'm excited. It's a new challenge. It's one of those things that we haven't had many of these. I think we kicked off with Kentucky at around the same time, right? And it's 12 Eastern, so this will be 11 Central, and both teams got to show up and play. And everybody always worries about, the start time. But I've really talked to our guys a lot about, when did they start playing football? Almost every one of them played Pee Wee rec football Saturday mornings at 6, 7, 8, 9 a.m. And they couldn't even go to sleep Friday night. They were so excited to play. And we're trying to kind of conjure up some of those emotions of how much you enjoyed being able to go out there Saturday morning and play. And this is an opportunity to go play first thing in the morning, be the first game on, and play a really good football team.
Yeah, you mentioned the Kentucky game, and I think it was London Humphreys who called that a donut game, as how he phrased it, because you get up, you grab a donut, and then you go play football. And he was referring to what you were saying about Little League and rec games. You grab something to eat on the way out the door, and then you went and played early in the morning.
That's right. That's what you do, and you get ready to go play. And a lot of our kids grew up playing in this time of day, and they loved it, and they got to embrace it.
I had some people that get in touch with me, and they put so much emphasis on that Florida game every season. And when they get to that point, it's almost as if they feel like that's the ending point of the season. They forget there's a lot of football left after that Florida game. There's a lot of schedule remaining for this team, and a lot of big games still to go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every week's a big game. When you play football, you don't get, whatever it is, 162 like baseball and however many is in basketball. They're all big. I mean, a quarter of a game is like 5 basketball games. So, you better enjoy it. You better embrace it. So much goes into it, year-round practice, to get that one opportunity to go out and play. And you don't control when those moments are. You just embrace them.
What was the feeling you brought away from Jacksonville after that win last week, and what's been going on this week as you get ready for Mississippi State?
A really hard-fought win down in Jacksonville, a team that was very resilient on their part in terms of toughness and not quitting, and they got a lot of pride, and their coaching staff did a great job. They got a really good football team, and I think they're going to continue to get better and play well. Our focus has been on us. What can we improve on? What are the areas that we have to improve on, and how do we keep getting deeper and growing some depth, and then prepping for a really hard preparation has been Mississippi State. It's the hardest we've probably had this year because it's the most different in terms of offense and defense. They do not overlap with us, so it's a hard preparation.
What's the dividing line as far as your time and your preparation each week, would you say, is the time that you spend on your guys, on your team, and getting better, and then scouting the other team and working on things for the next game?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. We have to work against each other. We do drills and fundamentals every day that are meant to get you better, and then we do specific things that are meant to replicate our opponent, and you have to balance that because sometimes you get sloppy when you just work on the opponent.
It's Georgia and Mississippi State this weekend, and coming up we'll get to some of the questions you sent in on social media. Hashtag Ask Coach Smart. You can send those in anytime, and we could use your question here on the show and ask Kirby. And we'll take some audience questions, too. Our friends from Whippley are here tonight as our guest audience. So stick around. We'll continue with the show and get the questions going for the coach when we come back. This is Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Thanks for being here tonight. Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart. Our show presented each week by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. And dog fans, make sure you check out the G Shop at GeorgiaDogs.com for exclusive releases of Nike Game Day official apparel, just like the coaches wear. Visit GeorgiaDogs.com and the G Shop today. All right, let's get to some questions for Coach as the Dogs get ready to head to Starkville, Mississippi for the weekend, take on Mississippi State on Saturday, and take a question from our audience. And this is Dan with a question for the coach. Hi, Dan. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having us here tonight.
Yes, sir.
Coach, you're the son of a coach. I know you're very close with your dad. You've got two sons, Weston and Andrew. Would you like to see them follow in your footsteps?
Absolutely not. I tell them every day, don't do what I do. Don't do what I do. And my dad told me not to, too, but it didn't work. You know, the stress and some of the things involved in it and, you know, your time commitment. And I'm like, you know what, I would love for them to do something else. But I want them to do what they want to do. I 100% don't have to worry about the oldest. He has no interest in doing it. But the young one, he may not. I don't know what he'll end up doing. But I was proud of him because he didn't go to Georgia, Florida, and he had been every year since 2021. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, of which we had won every game. The last time we lost was when he didn't go in 2020. And so when he said he was not going because he wanted to do Halloween, I said, you know what? I'm proud of you. You're not worried about superstitions. You do what you want to do and enjoy it. Don't feel like you have to do this because of me or this career. And I'm proud of him. He stayed with some of his friends. He hung out and enjoyed Halloween. And he told me we were going to win, and we did. So it all worked out.
Dan, thanks for your question. Appreciate that. So why wouldn't you not want him to kind of join in on this?
Just the time commitment. I mean, you know, I spend a lot of time away from my family, and coaches sacrifice a lot. And I think, you know, everybody likes to second guess a coach, and everybody wants to say that he doesn't know what he's doing. He's an idiot. He's this. He's that. You take all that criticism. You have to be very strong in your belief of what you do. Your influence of young people has to be the priority because it's definitely not pleasing people. You have to have, you know, great leadership and make hard decisions that sometimes affect people negatively, and some people just don't want to do that. There's so many other careers out there that you can do and enjoy and have your Friday, Saturday, Sunday and go, you know, enjoy football games, go enjoy sporting events that we give that up. And people say, well, you make lots of money. Yeah, I didn't get into it for the money. I didn't get into it for the money. It was never about the money. It was about an opportunity to do something I love. But there's a lot of things I give up that I don't get to do with my family, and our coaches don't. We make sacrifices to do that. So it makes it tough. I just hope they'll find a passion that they love and that they enjoy.
All right, good stuff. We appreciate the answer. Let's grab one from hashtag Ask Coach Smart. We'll go ahead and get this one out of the way. Ray in Athens, do you have cowbells playing at practice this week?
I didn't. I like the regular crowd noise, but they did play some today, and I came in the indoor. The offense was working with it, and they did have the cowboy ringing noise in there as opposed to just normal, you know, crowd noise. We operate with both, and it gets really loud there. I think people make a big mistake. They're like, oh, it won't be like Auburn. Oh, it won't be like Tennessee. And you get in there, and the next thing you know, it's really loud there. We've played there when it's really loud. So I've always said loud is loud. Once you can't hear, you can't hear. There's no like greater can't hear. It's like you're deaf, you can't hear. So if you just assume that you're going to go in there and not have that, then you can get used to it.
Yeah, you've been there a bunch in your career, and you've got experience with all these loud stadiums. Does the ringing of the bells make it any louder, or as you said, you know, noise is noise?
Different loud. It's more piercing. It's a little bit different in terms of it. I don't, you know, again, it's all what you make of it. If you make it a big deal, it'll be a big deal. And I don't spend a lot of time worrying about things I don't control.
Well, let me ask you one more question on things you don't control. If you were commissioner of the SEC, would you outlaw cowbells at Mississippi State?
I don't care. I mean, I think that commissioner's got a lot more to worry about than
no, I'm saying if you were.
That's what I'm saying.
And that was like, number one on your desk, on your things to do list. I'm going to put a big X right there on it.
I could care less. If they want to bring them in. I think it makes the environment in the SEC that much better.
All right, let's grab another question. Hashtag Ask Coach Smart. How well do you know Jeff Levy? That's from Chad in Dalton, Georgia.
I've gotten to know him over the last couple of years. I knew of him, and we had a lot of mutual friends, and he worked with Lane, so I knew about him through that. And then this summer, he was vacationing at a place near where I was, and we got to hang out and be around each other a little bit. I really enjoyed him, but I can't say that I know him that well.
Jackson in Atlanta, Georgia. What are your thoughts on the current targeting rules in college football?
I'm very understanding, appreciative of them. I am a kind of a rules enthusiast. I'm on the rules committee, so we go and do these studies, and people don't really understand. Most people are very think it's very punitive for a player to lose a half of a game, in some cases more than a half of a game, over a mistake or something that's not intentional. It's meant for a safety standpoint, and it's not the safety of the person they're hitting. It's meant for the safety of the person doing the hitting, and it's meant to prevent them from doing things that can hurt them. And I have a son who plays football. I love the game of football. I wanted to be around for a long time. We've gotten faster. Plays are more bang-bang plays, these RPOs people have. There's always like a slant and a safety coming together, and it's a big blow-up. And we're trying to prevent head and neck injuries. And that has happened because since targeting has been implemented, it's gone down. Like the actual verified targetings have gone down because people are coaching it to not lose players. We work on not losing players, so I think the rule works. Is it kind of punitive for a guy to lose 1/10, 1/11 of his season because of it? It can be, but the NFL has a different rule than us, and I'm okay with our rule.
The Dogs' defense was affected by that last week with KJ Bolden.
Yeah.
How did you guys overcome that?
Well, we played the next guy. I mean, we didn't have a choice, right? We had it last year against Florida in terms of guys. Next man up. We have other guys that practice. I mean, you know, injuries happen, so targeting is like an injury. He's out. So the next guy's got to go out there and play and execute, and that's what we prepare for every day at practice. And as coaches, we go through who's in if this guy's down, and you got to be prepared for that.
No, that happened in the first half last week. Is that correct?
So he sat the rest of the first half and the second half, and it was kind of near the end of the first half. So he only ended up losing, 0.5 of a game. If that happens the first play of the third quarter, he loses a whole game really, because he loses that half and the next half.
But he's good to go Saturday for the whole
Yeah.
game. Correct. All right. Good deal. Let's take a timeout, and we'll get more questions for Coach Kirby Smart as the Dogs head to Starkville, Mississippi this weekend to take on Mississippi State. This is Bulldogs Live, presented each week by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll be back for more of your questions for the coach right after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Welcome back. Bulldogs Live continues with Coach Kirby Smart. A reminder, Bulldogs basketball's off to a 2-0 start. The Dogs just posted their largest margin of victory in Stegman Coliseum history last night with a 65-point win, and more home games are on the way. Georgia will host Morehead State Sunday, November 9th at 2 o'clock. Our coverage begins at 1:35 here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Then on Friday, November 14th, Georgia will face Georgia Tech at Stegman Coliseum. Tip time for that one, 9 p.m., with our broadcast coverage beginning at 8:35. Follow Bulldogs basketball all season right here on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. For ticket information, call the Bulldogs ticket office at 706-542-1231 or go to georgiadogs.com. All right, questions for Coach Kirby Smart here on Bulldogs Live as we roll along. And our friends from Whippley are here in the building tonight as our guest audience. And this is Sarah with a question. Hi, Sarah. Go ahead with your.
Hey, thanks for having us. Coach, who has surprised you the most this season and why, whether that's a player, a coach, or anybody on your staff?
Who has surprised me the most? Oh, boy.
That can be good or bad, right?
Yeah, I guess it could be. I would like for it to be good. I don't know. I don't measure things that way. It's hard for me to say who has surprised me the most in terms of, a lot of guys had not contributed last year that have. I've probably been most proud of the specialists. They get so little accolades. Brett Thorson coming off of an ACL. I wasn't sure he'd be able to punt this year, and I feel like he has bounced back and done a great job. Peyton Woodring's been very consistent with his field goal kicking in some pressure situations. Obviously we had a couple kickoff things, but some of that is things we've schemed up and tried to do. And then Snapper Bo's been incredible. He had a great protection last week, and he double bumped the guy as a snapper. Most people don't ask their snapper to snap and block. They just say snap. Well, he snaps and blocks, which is what the NFL looks for, and so he's done a great job. I've probably been most surprised and kind of proud of that group of guys.
Thanks for your question, Sarah. Appreciate you being here. I noticed in their game notes they have a little bit of a quirky thing relating to their specialists. They have 2 left-footed kickers. Their place kicker's left-footed and their punter's left-footed.
Yeah, and essentially they have a right-footed kicker too. I mean, right-footed punter too. So they have a right-footed punter and a left-footed punter. The left-footed punter plays baseball, but he throws right-handed. So you're talking about really confusing for fakes because he can roll left and punt, but if he rolls right, he's probably throwing. And he's a really good athlete and really fast and really athletic. So should make for an interesting game.
All right, good stuff. Michael in Winder, Georgia, on hashtag Ask Coach Smart. Do you feel like our defense can build off the big 4th down stop versus Florida?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think we had a big first series stop against Florida. You know, we had a huge red area stop against Florida the second drive. The second drive would have been a touchdown, but the next time they got in the red area, we had to stop. So we did a lot of good things defensively in that game, and I was excited to see them do it. The fourth quarter stop was obviously really big.
Adam in Warner Robins, Georgia. How do you replace someone like Jordan Hall up front in the middle of the defense?
Well, you got to have depth. You know, it's part of what we do. We recruit big people, athletic guys, and you can't survive a season in the SEC without 6. So we've kind of been playing 6, and we'll have 5 now with a 6th guy ready.
Can you tell us about some of the other interior linemen that you're using and that will get some snaps and that you're seeing grow a little bit?
Well, all the guys that we're going to use, they've been playing. So Josh Horton's been playing, a kid that we recruited out of Langston Hughes, and we'll also use Namdi. Namdi's going to play. He's been playing. E.G. Has been playing. Elijah Griffin's been playing, and Xavier McLeod's been playing, and so has Christian Miller. So we'll have a lineup of guys there ready to go.
That's a good group. Let's see, Larry in Dunwoody, Georgia. Do you feel like our best defense is still in front of us this season?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I
do too.
I sure hope so, because we need to play better defense, and if our best defense is still in front of us, then we got a shot. But we've got some really good offensive football teams starting with this weekend. Really good, explosive. You're just not going to play defense across the league where you're just dominating people anymore. The offense is so far ahead. I think Texas A&M is the one outlier. They played really good defense, but outside of them, these guys have been scoring points on people.
How do you feel like we've been able to handle tempo offensive teams?
Some good, some bad. I mean, we've had series. We had spurts against Tennessee where we got off the field really quickly, but we hadn't seen a lot of tempo.
Will State bring that?
Yeah, State's tempo. They'll do tempo.
Sonia in Social Circle, Georgia. Any crazy memories from the stadium in Starkville?
I remember playing there. It's I don't know what year it was, but I had a sack there against a kid that I grew up near when I lived in Alabama until I was 7. He was from the rival town, and he ended up being their quarterback. And I was a safety DB and got a sack there. And it was a special night because my parents drove from Rabun County, where my dad was coaching. He had a game on Friday night. They got in a car, drove all the way to Starkville, Mississippi to watch a game on Saturday night, and he hated missing my game, but it was hard to get to that one. It was like the furthest we ever went away at that time when the SEC was, just as far as Starkville, really. And LSU would be the only other place that you could go further west. And my parents made it to that one, so that was a good one. But I was over there a lot when I was in Tuscaloosa, and we played them a couple times. Coach Don and his team's here.
Georgia and Mississippi State Saturday at noon Eastern Time, 12:05, the official kick time for Bulldogs football. Saturday, we'll start our broadcast Saturday morning at 8 a.m. here on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Hope you can join us. We'll step aside for this timeout, come back for more of your questions for Coach Kirby Smart as we continue with Bulldogs Live, brought to you by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. Back in a moment on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart, taking your questions for the coach as they get ready for Mississippi State this weekend. Reigning ACM Artist of the Decade Jason Aldean and 5-time Entertainer of the Year Luke Bryan are teaming up to play Dooley Field at Sanford Stadium coming up April 25th, 2026. For tickets, head on over to GeorgiaDogs.com. It's the Live Between the Hedges concert series presented by Pruitt Health, and we'll see you there. All right, next question is from our audience. Our friends from Whippley are here in the house. And this is Jeff. Hi, Jeff. Go ahead with your question. Thanks for being here tonight.
Hey there. Hey, Coach. When things get tough, what's your personal reset? What gets your mind back in the fight?
Usually I get a little downtime. I like to get with my family, enjoy a little time with them, and you remember what you're fighting for when you get time with them and you enjoy it. I think, sometimes you think to all those lessons you've learned as a young student or a young athlete coming up, and you think about all the lessons your coaches taught you, which for me was my father. And one of my personal goals is to never let my kids see me quit something, and I want to keep doing it and keep fighting, good, bad, or indifferent. So I think my family keeps me in my reset.
Jeff, thanks for the question. Appreciate it. Let's grab one from hashtag Ask Coach Smart on the social platforms. Jody in Marietta, what is the atmosphere in Starkville like? We talked a little bit about that tonight.
It's SEC. I mean, it's I've been there many a time. They're very passionate. I love the setup of the stadium. It's a really vertical, almost like you feel like they're right on top of you. Stadium. They've added on to it. They've made a home locker room really nice. They've improved since I've been going to it. They've improved it a lot. It used to be one of the toughest locker rooms to play in, and they've made it much better. And they create a great atmosphere. People come from all over there, and it's almost like it's a small city that turns into a big city on game day.
Since Mississippi State this is from Carl in Atlanta, since Mississippi State has had so many close games, do you feel like they are battle-tested and physical?
Everybody in the SEC is battle-tested and physical. I can assure you. There's not a team that's playing right now in our league that's not battle-tested and physical. I mean, just take a look at Arkansas, who I guess I'm assuming has the worst record in the SEC, and they have played everybody close. I mean, they get after you, they score points, they do a good job, and they're battle-tested and physical. So is Mississippi State. I mean, they've been in the fourth quarter tight with everybody outside of Texas A&M, who they were in a tight ball game with at half. So it's not. I mean, look, this is a real deal league. You better get ready to play every Saturday.
What do you feel like is the difference there, since a lot of teams are very close? Just what's the difference in them getting over the top, do you think?
Who?
Any team in this league. And
Players get you over the top. They'll make no mistake about it. Getting really good players. And look, it's just somebody sent me a text the other day about the NFL and said something about 80% of the teams are maybe like 66-3 or worse or something like that. I don't know what the number was, and I thought, yeah, that's what we're headed towards in our league. Is like that's going to be the norm. Like if you look over a 4-year history, somebody said 70% or something of the SEC teams are like barely over 500. I mean, look, it's a competitive league. It's tough. People don't understand the expectations of these fan bases and these SEC places are so unrealistic. They're so unrealistic. They don't really understand what success really looks like in a parity system. Go ask these NFL teams, if they'll take 6-3 or 7-2. That's like the best record in the league or something. It's just the way it is.
Charles in East Cobb, Georgia, wants to know how electric is Zachariah Branch in your opinion?
He's extremely electric. He is hard to tackle in space. People don't want to give him space. He is one of the most quick, hard to tackle guys that I've seen in terms of burst, and he's extremely competitive and he loves the game.
Charles, thanks for the question. We appreciate it. Hope to see Zachariah get loose a little bit in Starkville coming up this Saturday. I don't know if you were aware of this, but a chance for Georgia to get its 900th program victory on Saturday, and there's only 8 other schools that have ever done that in the history of college football. So maybe a little bit of history to be made on Saturday. If the Dogs win that game, it'll be number 900 all time.
Big thanks to Vince and Wally and all the guys that helped get us there, man.
Yeah, that's a lot of winning over a lot of years. You're right about that. All right, this is Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart. We'll step aside once again. And we've got a few more minutes with the coach here in this first hour before we turn it over to Neil Williamson and the Bulldogs All-Stars at the top of the hour. Another hour for them. They'll take your calls and answer your questions up until 9 o'clock tonight. So stick around. More Bulldogs Live right after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Coach Kirby Smart taking your questions tonight here on Bulldogs Live, and we'll continue that in just a moment. If you're looking to elevate your game day experience, visit ugaexperiences.com to purchase experiences like being in the tee retriever for a game or getting your photo taken with UGA on the field. Those are just a couple of the experiences you can take part in. Experiences are available now for the remaining home games. And how do you do that? Well, you go to ugaexperiences.com. All that information is there available for you. All right, questions continue for the coach. Georgia and Mississippi State coming up this weekend. It's a road game for the Bulldogs in Starkville, 12:05 Eastern Time for the kickoff. And our friends from Whippley are here as our guest audience tonight. And this is Will with a question. Hi, Will. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for doing this. During the season, how much time do you spend looking at other teams that aren't on Georgia's schedule?
Not a lot. I do some things I've started doing in the last couple of years where I watch teams in the SEC, short yardage, goal line, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, every team that is in our league. So we might not play them. I watch them. I try to watch all the perimeter holds, defensive pass interferences, and kind of get a feel for how our league is officiating. So I watch other teams do that. And then in the off weeks, we watch 2-point red area. We watch other facets of other teams trying to, like, copycat, trying to get some ideas. So it's really cool because you watch a team play somebody and you see a play, and then somebody else uses that play, then somebody else uses that play. And the next thing you know, somebody uses that play on you. And it's like it's getting passed around, and you can see where they got it from. So I enjoy it. I don't sit back and watch another team just to watch them. I watch parts of it and just try to learn something that might help us in our play. Thanks for the question.
Will, appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you very much. Vaughn in Greensboro, Georgia, on hashtag AskCoachSmart. Says, for us fans that are unfamiliar with Mississippi State's roster, who jumps out to you in your preparation for them?
Well, offensively, they've got the fastest human being in the SEC. He is super fast. Vernon Thompson can fly. He runs by people left and right. You try to press him and get your hands on him. He gets around you. You don't press him and you get off of him, and he just runs right by you. And they throw the deep ball really well. And they'll come after us that way. Then Anthony's played really well as well, so they got two wideouts playing well, got a big physical back, and their quarterback can run. Then defensively, they've got a hybrid guy that can play Mike linebacker and defensive end, Brandon Jennings kid, and he's a good player. And then they've got a corner that's about 6'4", really long guy, and a safety, Isaac Smith, that we recruited that's a great tackler. So they have really good players. Every team in the SEC does. They've gotten about 10 or 12 guys out of the portal that have made them better. I mean, the wideouts they got are from Oklahoma and Georgia. So they've got good players.
Vaughn, thanks for that question. That's our look ahead, brought to you by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. The penalty for getting a DUI can cost up to $10,000, and that's why the Governor's Office of Highway Safety says drive sober so you won't get pulled over. Another question from hashtag AskCoachSmart. Rick in Athens, how do you feel about your team's depth since we might have to play a lot more games?
I never feel good about my depth. I mean, I've said that repeatedly. I don't think you can ever have enough depth in terms of what you really want. Based on the numbers we have, we got more depth than a lot of people. But we're trying to bring the young guys along because I don't know when one of them is going to have to step up and play. But I sure as heck want them to be prepared when their number's called.
How much do you see from those guys in on the scout team or wherever they're working in practice week to week? Do you see that desire to grow and get better from all those young guys, all those freshmen that you've got down there?
Sometimes. I wouldn't say that you see it all the time. A lot of them are more sensitive to the plight they're in, and they can't grow. I mean, if you're sitting out there working in an industry where you don't think you're growing, you're not going to get better if you don't see a vision for where you're going to go. And we try to sell that vision by coaching them hard and growing them, but they don't always seem to understand that.
Do a lot of them not really have the patience that they need to to be an adult, I guess.
I don't know that it's patience. I think it's consistency and performance. They struggle with that, and we all did when we were 16, 17, 18. So we're trying to help them with that.
Toby in Athens, how rewarding was it for some of our Florida boys to get that victory over the Gators last week?
I'm sure it meant a lot to them. It's a lot of pride in that, and going back home and going back to your local communities if you can win that game.
Georgia and Mississippi State is the next one up on the board, and that'll be Saturday afternoon, 12:05 for the kickoff time, Eastern time. We'll start your coverage at 8 a.m. Eastern Saturday morning here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. We invite you to join us, and come on back. We've got one more segment with Coach before we turn it over to Hondo and the Bulldogs All-Stars at the top of the hour, taking your calls and your questions for another hour of Bulldogs football talk. So we'll continue with more of Bulldogs Live right after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. If you want to do an NIL deal with a dog, go to georgiadogs.com/NIL to connect with a student athlete on a sponsorship, a commercial, an appearance, autograph session, and more. georgiadogs.com/NIL is how you do that. Our friends from Whipfly, our guest audience all night long, and another question from our friends here. This is Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Welcome to the show, and go ahead with your question.
Hey there, thank you.
Thanks, Debbie.
When past Bulldogs, current NFL players come to the game, are they allowed to hang out in the locker room with the players or the team? And how do you decide which one calls the dogs?
I don't decide that. Yes, they are the current NFL roster guys. Number one, it's hard for them to get back because they have games. But during their open weeks, a lot of them choose to come back, and we get those guys in the locker room, on the sideline. Most of them just got through playing, and Brian Gant does a great job communicating to them, hey, if you're open or you have a free weekend, you can come see us and get on the sideline. So it's always great to have those guys come back and support. They all have given so much to the program. I love having them around. And there's more and more now that played for our staff, so it's really cool.
Debbie, thanks for your question. Thank you for being here tonight. Hashtag Ask Coach Smart. We have one from Paul, Coach. And he says, as the head coach, how would you describe your fire, passion, and energy, and does it transfer to the team?
I don't know. I think I have a lot of fire, passion, energy at practices. I try during the games to be level-headed and make good decisions in the heat of the moment, and be calculated in how much energy I need to transfer to the players versus letting them do it. And I think that's a big part of our team leadership is having good energy.
Jackie in Bishop, Georgia. I think you talked about this earlier. I'll go ahead and ask it since she sent it in. Does an early kickoff on the road worry you at all?
Jackie, everything worries me. So that's just one of the many things that I get to be concerned with.
What's at the top of that list? Is anything, or does it just kind of rotate around? This week it's something else. Last week it was something else.
It's consistency and performance. There's no coach that can tell you with 100% certainty that he knows his guys are going to go out and perform. And ultimately that's what I'm held accountable for. And I want our team to perform well. I want our coaches to perform well. And that's what we work towards, So it's our 9 to 5, whatever your bottom line is, and your bottom line at your business is, that's what ours is how you perform on Saturdays.